Hey, what's up, team? We're back again, and today we're talking about one grip to save your jiu-jitsu life when the match starts out. I'm going to tell you about this one grip, and I love this because not only is it offensive, it's defensive, but it also, like everything else in jiu-jitsu, leads to some other strategy that you can transfer to, your plan B, okay? So, I'm going to talk about this grip. I'm going to talk about what we can do with it, but before we talk about the offense, I want to talk to you about the defense of the position, okay? So, when I'm in the beginning of my matches, what I always like to do is I always like to keep my hands in front of my collars because I know how effective it could be if they make a grip on my collar. They're going to start to pull my head all around and start to make me feel off balance. So I put my hands right on my collars. Can you square up with me like this? I put my hands right in front of my collars. And what I'm going to do is I really want to make this grip on the collar, straight on his chest. But before I do that, I know this is the grip I want, so I have to distract him and give him something to kind of make him think about something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach low with my hand like this. And as I reach low with my hand like this is where he's going to start to grip fight. He's going to start to put his hands on my hands, smacking my hands down or making a grip onto my collar, or onto my sleeve, I mean. And so when he starts to do this, he's looking down here, and I'm going to come like an over-the-top punch like this, and I'm going to put it right on his chest. So I come here, I put it in, and I go, boom. Okay, as soon as I make this grip, I feel a lot of relief here. Because I know this grip is so strong and so powerful, if you only knew how powerful this one grip could be. Now, when I'm here, I love to make this grip, especially against wrestlers who are going to shoot on your leg. When I make this grip, I think about it in multiple ways. One of the first ways that I think about it is I call it a judo stiff arm. I don't know why I called it that, but this is how it kind of formed in my mind. Now, when I make this grip, if we come a little bit closer, I just want to show you this. I do not grab the collar like this. I mean, I can make a regular grip, but I cannot put my hand on his chest like this. You see how my wrist is bending? If he knows how to do the wrist lock, he's going to start to try to wrist lock me, and I'm going to have to abandon the grip. So when I make this grip, you see I did an overhand punch to make this grip, and just like when I do this, I'm going to keep I'm thinking of like a punch where my wrist is totally straight. I'm not going to bend it at all like this, or like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my hand is right where the chest is. I don't want it up too high, and I don't want it down too low. I want it right where his chest is. I'm thinking about my knuckles being attached to his pec. Okay, now when I do this, if you see my feet, let's walk this way a little bit. If you see my feet, I'm not going to stand square with him. And the arm that I have on will be my forward leg, and the other side is going to be my back leg. And now the position of my body is what I call a one-handed push-up. Because if I was to go down from the ground, I wouldn't stay square. I would stay in this kind of a stance to have structure, to keep me up. So I go low, and then I go high, boom. And when I made it, you see I stepped in with the punch, bam. And I made the grip right on, put my knuckles inside, made my wrist straight. And I automatically get into my one-handed push-up position. Now, I love this because, you see, when I stand like this, it makes me lean forward. And when I lean forward like this, you see Yosef already had to start leaning against me just so that he didn't lean backwards. Because he's starting to lean this way, I know that if I just give him a pull, he's going to come this direction with me. So, I go low, I go high. As I do my one-handed push-up, he has to lean in on me. Now that I've said all this, we're about to get to how, I can use this for my offense. But I just want to tell you this, that because I have my arm completely straight, there is some, bad things about it. He could try to do the flying armbar on me. If someone was to do a flying armbar on me, I would abandon the grip and retract my arm immediately. Okay? So I'm here and I'm leaning on him. And now from here, I'm going to show you a takedown series that I love to do from this one grip. Now, the first one that I love to do, you hear me yelling it to my students, I call it swinging on the vine. Now, a lot of times when people make this grip, they think about pulling the person straight down. And that uses a lot of arm strength this way. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try to hit him at the angle of a perpendicular angle here. And so as I get my one-handed push-up on him, I'm going to jump to my knees all the way over here. And when I do, my arm is going to do this kind of a motion. Whap! So as I get my one-handed push-up, I jump to my knees here, and I swing on the vine. I'm thinking about like a tetherball ball going around like this. Okay? So I don't want him to bend forward. I want him to bend sideways and down in a diagonal. So it's almost like a forward roll, kind of positioning of the shoulders. I get my grips, I swing on the vine, boom, I land right here. Now when I do this, I'm swinging with my arm, and when I get to this angle, I'm going to go boom with my hands, which brings his head down. It makes his leg very close to me, and I can start to get my arm around his leg. This is why I love it so much, because I'm not always the biggest guy in the academy. So when I am able to put my hand on my own arm, I have a lot of power to stand up, and anytime he would try to stomp his foot down, it's basically impossible. So once I get to here, he has to hop on this one foot and try not to fall down. I still have this grip, I never let it go. Because once I get here, I'm just going to look down at his foot, and I'm going to walk around. And as I see his foot, I'm going to time that second right before his foot touches the ground. And I'm going to hook his foot. When I hook behind his foot, it gives me the opportunity to now push on this collar. Okay, so I never let it go. He's going to start to walk. I'm going to go, pop. And now this is why I love it so much. Because when I get to here, he's already kind of in a knee shield position. But all I have to do is start to retract my legs and start that one-handed push-up positioning on my body, and I start to crush him here, putting him in the folding pass. Passing behind to the back, or however you like to finish the folding pass. So now I'm protecting my collars. I know how important it is to keep these collars mine. And I start to make him think about this as I give him a punch, get into my one-handed push-up. Now from here, let's say I've done this to the guy multiple times, or maybe he's a smart competitor, he's watching my matches, he's seeing what I'm doing, and he said he's going to swing on that collar and he's going to reach for this leg. So now he's kind of ready, he's going to anticipate this. So as I reach for the leg, he's taking it away from me. So I swing on the bar, boom. And he took the leg away from me. No problem, because he's always going to leave one for me. So now as I get these two grips, look, it's on his right side. I can start to just stand up. And when I stand up, I'm going to turn this way a little bit. I'm going to push his shoulder back to make the leg very light. And now I'm standing with him, and I'm controlling one whole side of his body. Now I'd like to ask you this question. Who runs faster? Someone on one leg going backwards, or someone on two legs going forwards? Pretty simple answer, right? So just watch as I push and I pull, this concept of the bow and arrow that we always see in Jiu Jitsu, and I run. Boom. And he's going to fall down. He cannot keep the pace. I'm here, I'm low, I'm protecting the collars. I go low, I go high. Boom, I got the grip, I tricked him. Got exactly what I wanted. Now I swing, I get the first one. I missed the first one. I get the second one. I bring him up, and I'm just going to guide him. Now this is just kind of like a little tip for when you're actually, competing in a tournament. I'll take the time to guide him to the center of the mat, and then I'll run him down. So we could get the first leg, we could get the second leg. We can also stay having a lot of faith in the grip that we have. We know how powerful it is for our defense, and how powerful it is if we get those legs. We just stay very persistent. So if I ever reach for the legs and I'm missing the first one, I'm missing the second one, you just start to double up on it and start to swing on the vine over and over and over again. So I went low, I went high, I put my weight on him, I swing and I reach. He sprawls out of my grip, it wasn't strong enough. I get up and I go again, boom. As I get here, I push him down. I put my weight right on him right away. Now sometimes we'll be going against a wrestler, and they'll have a lot of faith in their shots, and they'll keep shooting and shooting and shooting on your legs. I'm very confident in this grip to stop all the takedowns that the wrestlers have for me, because I can keep my weight on him, and I can keep his shoulders away from my hips. So as he tries to shoot on me, reach for my legs. You see, I can keep my feet away from him off this one. Shoot on me now. I can keep my feet away from him and keep him here. But sometimes the wrestlers, they shoot so many times, and I start to get worried that maybe I can't keep my legs away from them enough. So I'm going to double up on this grip. I'm going to take my hand. My second hand is going to go right on top. Now that I have these two hands, when he reaches for my legs as he shoots, grab it this leg, this arm. As he shoots, I can push it off. If he shoots and he's reaching for my other leg on the single on this side, I can always fight his grips and come back, always getting back to the cause very easily. Now you see, it's like I'm holding a samurai sword, but it's also like I'm holding a witch's brew. Okay? Going low, going high, putting the weight, he's shooting, I'm getting worried. All right, I'm going to double up on this. I'm going to let him shoot, and I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing away. And then sometimes I'm going to decide, you know what? I'm going to use both of these hands to throw him this way as much as I can. Let's move this way a little bit. And you see, when I stir this collar around, it has a big effect on his head. So as I get here, and I start to pull this collar, I'm pulling down, I'm pushing back, I'm pulling this way, making him feel like he's all wobbly. I'm going to then use this collar to make a pressure going outwards this way. So let's circle this way. So as I doubled up, he's trying to shoot. I feel this break in between his shots. I'm going to start to pull the collar with both hands. Boom. And when I feel his head starts to come to this side a little bit, I'm going to start to hook the inside of his leg with the inside of mine. Boom. And as I get here, you see I land in a position similar to S-mount with my legs. I reach for the leg again, and I drive up, and I'm back here. Now, sometimes when I get here, I didn't get all the way to my arm. I wasn't able to put it on top for the extra control. I might have just got it like this. So now when I get it like this, I can switch, I can run the pipe. But remember, the whole goal is don't let your grips go. The grips that mean it. They mean something to you where you can use them in multiple ways. So I'm going to start to drag him this way. You see, if I can't get to my elbow, I'll get to my collar. It's a good thing about having the gi. You got extra grips. Now I'm going to start dragging him down. Now a lot of times, he's not going to go all the way down. He might go to the turtle. But if you have persistence on this collar, and when I step back, I pull this collar in a circular motion, he's at least going to have to put his hands on the ground, give me an opportunity for the back. But if I keep the pressure and I keep my timing right, he might just have to actually fall on the ground. So I step back and I drag and I drag and I drag. Now we get to this kind of position where he's like, he can't get to the turtle. Look at this. He can't get to the turtle all the way because I didn't let his leg go. But I have this. So now it's all about just driving. And now I'm in this kind of a position on his legs again. Put my knee inside. Put him in the folding pass. Maybe this time I'll go to mount. I go low, I go high, and I have my grip. And I'll walk in this direction like this. Joseph, when I make this grip, what kind of grips do you think you're going to make? You see my hand? Look, he's going for the collar. He wants to grab my collar too. And I'm just going to be fighting this grip off. Hopefully I can get to a situation like this where I have his wrist. Look, the priority number one, you have to get the grip that matters. I go low, I go high, and I get my stance, my one-arm push-up. My other hand's right here, protecting my collars how it should be. Okay, when he starts to reach for my collars, I'm going to push away, slap down, circle out. If I'm able to circle out, I can get to this grip. And now that I have this grip, I can swing on the vine like we did before. It gives me the opportunity to throw his arm up as well. So as I swing on the vine, whoo, coming right to the back, I have the collar. This is where I would let go of the collar, and I'll start to take him down from here. As we've seen in previous videos, how to finish that takedown. I go low, I go high. He's shooting on my legs. I'm feeling very confident. I have a judo stiff arm here. I'm getting worried. He's shooting too much. He's starting to get closer. I'm feeling my arm start to bend. It's not able to extend all the way. I'm going to double up. I'm going to try to pull him around, swinging on the vine again, putting my pressure on him. When all else fails, maybe he swung on the vine. 1, he sprawled out of it. And I went 2, and he sprawled out of it. I went 3, and I missed it. That's fine. Okay, I've had some time trying the same thing. Now this time I'm going to come up, and I'm going to get the samurai grip. I got my samurai sword, my witch's brew. But this time I'm going to give him a little bit of a push. Okay, and as I give him this push, he pushes back. So when he pushes back, I'm going to use that momentum to let the collar go on the first hand, the hand that I made the grip with originally. I'm going to keep the second hand on there. I'm going to put my foot in between his legs. Okay, and now from here, I'm going to do the collar drag. The collar drag is not about pulling the collar. The collar drag is about falling. Kind of resist just so I lean back. It's about leaning your weight on him like this. So as I push, look, he leans forward. He's pushing back. I double up, samurai. And so now I'm going to go, boom. Look, because he's leaning forward, I just fall. Boom. And I start to come up to his back. Low, high, swinging and grabbing, swinging and grabbing. Doubling up on the collar when I feel like his shots are too aggressive. He's leaning forward on me. I'm going to drag him. Maybe I keep the leg, jump into the back. I get in several different scenarios. But we're going to collar drag. Everything in Jiu Jitsu is duality. Duality means two things that are opposing each other, but they still are true and exist. So my duality is I'm constantly going like this. See, I'm going to my left. I'm going to my left. And he says, the reality of this situation is he's going to keep swinging to the left. And because he's thinking that, I have to show him the other side of the reality. Make the collar grip, turn to the back. One grip will save your life. Know the importance of your grips. That grip that I just made on his collar, how many different ways did I use it? That's how important it is. Get into the depths of the grip. And your guard, your takedowns, everything will get better when you know what a grip can do for your life. Thank you. So many options when we get to this one grip. Now you see, when I make the first grip, I lean forward and he leans forward. Now, because he's leaning forward, we have this option to pull him forward. This is easy. But when I'm pulling someone forward, how do they resist? They put their hips forward and they lean back. So now I try to pull him, he can hold my weight. You see, he's not falling. Okay, so now we have to know that there's this duality of Jiu-Jitsu. He leans forward, you pull them forward. He leans backwards, you push them backwards. So as I come here on the grip, I might swing on the vine like this, trying to reach for the legs. He's going to retract his legs. He's going to start to stand up. He might lean back because he felt me pulling him down. And now you know how we swung on the vine and I caught the second leg? Well, if I swing on the vine and he stands up with posture, I'm just going to run and snatch the leg up. Now that I have one leg and one collar all on the same side, he's a man on one leg running backwards. He can't stop this. I can trip him, but it's so much fun to just run him down. I have a question for you. What is easier to pick up? Something that's heavy or something that's light? In Jiu-Jitsu, we have a lot to pick up. So when we pick something up, we have to make sure that it's light. Because if you keep trying to pick up heavy things over and over again, you might get too tired. And because you're too tired, you might lose the fight just because of that. So when I make this grip, boom, I have the swinging on the vine, I have this motion all day. But what if I want to just pick up this leg in a different way? Now, when I swung on the vine, boom, and I got here, the leg is light because he's bending over. Okay? And a lot of times my head will kind of like end up right underneath the shoulder. And so as I get him, I have him down. When I come up, my head kind of pushes him up, which makes it all very light for me. Other ways that we make this leg light is when he leans this way. This leg is heavy on the ground. Lean that way, still. Okay. He's leaning. Look, stand up straight. When you lean this way, the leg is heavy. Look on the other side. Leg is light. So if we want to pick something up, we make it as light as possible. I go for the grip on the collar. And I look, just like I would kind of do my arm drag. I'm going to step here, and I'm going to drive off this foot, pushing the collar this way. As it pushes it this way, his leg has now become very light. So now because it's light, I'm going to take it out with my leg and the momentum of my body committing to the leg. It's like this. It's kind of like a soccer kick where you hit on the side of your leg. Except I'm not going to kick him with my foot. I'm going to kick my inside of my knee and calf against the inside of his calf. And so as I come here, I step and I push, making the leg light. I now hit his leg, boom, and I fall in this position where I have his leg and I have his posture being pulled down. Now from here on the far side, this leg is going to push me up. And I come up, right here is where I would grab. Bam! And I got to my position, I walk him this way, boom, take him that way. Make your life easy. Make your life easy. Pick up things that are light. Don't bother picking up things that are heavy. Instead of picking up heavy things, think, how can I make this thing lighter? hoping that you have seen now the importance of this one grip. And so you should say in your mind, okay, he's talking about duality, you know, he needs to make the grip. Well, on the other side of the spectrum, the bad side of the spectrum where it's not good for you is they make the grip on you. What are you supposed to be doing to stop this from happening to you? Well, when you get into your match, you're supposed to have your hands in front of your collars. You're supposed to be grip fighting. This is the whole beginning of the match. It really comes down to grip fighting. So when I square up with Joseph, you see my hands are here. You see his hands are also there. So that is why I reached down. Look, his hand came out. Now he only has one hand up. And I'm going to go right over the top of the hand to fight it. Now let's say Joseph, he had faster hands than me, and he was the one that made the grip on me. And now look, when he makes the grip, switch your stance. Hit the one-arm push-up on me. So you widen your stance out. There we go. This is better. This is better. Now he's got this grip on me. If I grab the grip and I start to pull, it's kind of hard because he's pushing me like this. Okay? So I'd have to try to lean back, but he might run with me. If I lean back, I might get taken totally out of the position. So when he makes this grip on me, what will I do? I'm going to swim inside. I'm going to pull it off like this. Okay? Now look where his hand is. Go to the arm drag drill videos that we made. Okay? So when the grip happens to me, I try to defend it. I should have been stopping it, saying no, no, no. He put the grip on me. If I lean back and he keeps it, because I'm trying to break like this, because if I lean forward like this, it's not coming off. I have to lean back to make the tension in the grip to pop it off. But if I lean back too much, he might start to push me. And he might run me off the mat. Or he might trip me up and make me feel like there's no way that I can keep my base and stay strong or break the grip. So I'm here like this, and when he reaches for the collars, I have to be fighting. I have to be fighting these collar grips. And I have to go boom. I have to make it. It's a race in the beginning. But say he does make it. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go, huh. So many things that we can do after we break that grip. But as soon as the collar grip, I make it, and he throws his arm over. Look, this is very hard to do. He goes like this. It's really hard for me to keep holding this grip. Go. You see, now look, if I kept holding on, I was like, no, I'm so stubborn. I'm not. Look, I'm kind of in this weird place. I'm tied up in his lapel now. Can't even get my hand out. Like, you see, so don't get twisted up. If I make the grip and I feel like he's going over, I automatically have to do something about it. Hey team, thanks for hanging out with me and Joseph. We're just in the laboratory working our brains on this. You know, we do this all the time. We're here in Oakland, California. If you live in the general vicinity, come and train. Let's be here on the mats together, learning and growing together. Thank you.